now move on to State Board of Education. And this is a virtual discussion with the incumbent Republican Joyce Rankin, Democratic challenger Mayling Simpson. Do we have a connection?
Yes.
Okay. We'll begin with Joyce Rankin with an open of 90 seconds.
Hi, Ron. Thank you very much for having me this evening. Thanks for the work that you do. My name is Joyce Rankin. I'm currently on the State Board of Education representing the 3rd Congressional District. My background is in elementary education. When I was 10 years old, I told my parents I wanted to be a teacher. I never deviated from that. I have a bachelor's degree and a master's degree in elementary education with a minor in English language arts, which is reading, writing. I also have a certification from Delta Technical College in Microsoft Office. I'm a Microsoft Office user specialist. And I have taught school. I taught 5th grade, 6th grade, kindergarten, 1st grade, and I was an elementary school principal. I believe that the most important role of a teacher is to prepare students to become successful readers. That's why I've supported Senate Bill 199, with only 40% of our students reading at the 3rd grade level. We have to improve. And the READ Act has accountability attached to it. In 2012, there was a READ Act that did not have accountability. Now there's accountability attached to the READ Act, and I'm hoping when it begins in 2021, we'll see significant improvement in our 3rd grade reading. That's my background, and I'm running again for the state board, and I hope to be elected in November. Thank you.
90 seconds.
Hi, I'm Mayling Simpson. I live in Routt County. I've never run for office before, so this is a new experience for me. I've lived in Routt County since 1985, and my children and grandchildren have gone to the public schools here, and my daughter is currently a teacher in Hayden, Colorado. And I have served on the Steamboat Springs School Board. So that is my local experience, but my background is in education. I have a BA in biology from Longwood University and earned a teaching certificate there many years ago, and then went on to get a PhD in anthropology. And I have taught at the high school and the college levels. And the reason I am running, decided to run for this office, is because a number of people asked me if I would be a voice for rural Colorado kids. I bring a different background and experience than Joyce, and very different from many of the other people who serve on the Board of Education currently. I have over 30 years experience in public health. So I've taught at the Johns Hopkins School of Public Health. I've worked at the World Health Organization in Geneva, and I worked for Catholic Relief Services in East Africa, where I handled their public health programs for 6 East African countries. So I bring a different background and experience to the job, and I think this different set of skills, especially in public health, is important now with our new COVID-19 challenges. Thank you.
All right. Dr. Simpson, we'll start with you. The first question. Education is a term that has, well, taken on a whole new shape and meaning in this last year. What does education mean to you? Is it critical thinking, teaching important life skills, shaping opinions?
Oh, wow. It's all of those and more. It's first of all, giving the kids all the basic skills in reading and math. And then after that, it is all the things that you mentioned. Education is the foundation of public education, I should say, is the foundation of our democracy. And it is our country's biggest anti-poverty program. It's incredibly important. It has made our country what it is today. And without public education, we would be a developing country, essentially. So It is all of those skills. And I think that increasingly we're also finding out that social, emotional development is extremely important to add to this mix.
Joyce Rankin, your response.
Thank you, Ron. Thanks for that question. In a time of COVID, I know a lot of people are disruptive in their lives because some students are at home, some are online, some are in person. But I believe that this has brought to the forefront the fact that we need more pathways for students to learn. And I think through technology, we are finding that a lot of the high school students are able to get their work done early and get online and take additional courses, although there are many, many additional courses offered through CDE and through the BOCES. I'm at a meeting today where they're talking about the technology and how many students have signed up for additional courses online to help them not only get their high school diploma, but also to prepare them in life for other careers. I think the pathways, there's opportunity here, and these pathways are slowly coming forward. We need to have more trained teachers in how to deliver education via technology. But I think in the future, we're going to see a lot more preparation so that we aren't hit with something like COVID again. Thank you.
Dr. Simpson, your response or rebuttal.
I don't really have a rebuttal to that.
Okay.
Yes.
We'll move on to the next question. Joyce, President Trump's proposal to promote patriotic education through the 1776 Commission has created a stir among educators. What are your thoughts? Should that be included in Colorado's curriculum?
Well, of course, I think all history should be included in the curriculum and in the standards. I know some teachers are doing a great job. Others may not have had preparation in their teacher prep programs to present some of this history. But as you know, right now, we're history in the making, and this will be part of our future. But we cannot forget about our past and how we came to this point in time. If you don't study the past, you will repeat it. And I think we have a very rich past and history in the United States, and I think we should continue to bring that to the forefront. I do think we need more United States history and Colorado history taught in the schools, but it's not something that is mandatory at our state level. We are a local control state, and that's for the local boards to determine and the parents to elect them.
Dr. Simpson, your response.
Well, teaching civics is one subject that I am really interested in and interested in promoting if I should get on the State Board of Education, learning about our Constitution, learning about our country's history. But I don't know what this new 1776 curriculum is supposed to include. And there are many people feel that it is a white supremacist, will be a white supremacist type of curriculum, because when President Trump proposed this, he was countering what he said was the 1619 curriculum. So I think we have to wait and see how this develops. But in general, yes, I think teaching history is very important, the whole history, and teaching civics and how to become a good voter, an informed voter, is very, very important.
Joyce, any response or rebuttal?
I have heard that 1619 is something that is coming into the local school districts, but I have also seen where groups of parents have gotten together and gone to their board and made sure that is not a part of the curriculum. It's not part of the standards. So unless I hear more from the base, I still believe history and civics should be taught, but I don't think we should create something new to do it.
Next question, Dr. Simpson. In your estimation, in which academic subjects are Colorado students deficient, and how can that be corrected?
I believe that the statistics show that they are really deficient in reading at almost every level. And there are quite a few deficiencies in math as well. What was the second part of your question?
How can that be corrected?
Well, it would be corrected by implementing the READ Act, which is a wonderful thing, perhaps extending that READ Act to actually higher levels, maybe up to 5th grade or 6th grade. I don't know whether that is feasible or not. Since I've not served on the board yet, I don't know exactly what is feasible and infeasible, but we could do something similar to the READ Act for math. Just, you know, redirecting our resources so where they are most desperately needed.
Joyce, same question.
Thank you, Ron. I know that there are a lot of things that have been imposed upon schools and teachers, and they're under a lot of stress. I have written a column ever since I've been representing the 3rd Congressional District. One of my favorites is mission creep. Anything that happens in society that people think students should be trained in, they pile that on. And we have lost sight of what the mission is in schools. And the biggest problem we have is reading. You cannot succeed in life if you cannot read. So number one would be reading, but now we're finding out that our math scores are very, very low. And some districts have switched over and started focusing on math, but we haven't accomplished reading. I need more time to get reading and the READ Act in every district in our state.
Dr. Simpson, anything to add to that?
No, thank you.
Okay. Joyce, let's talk about those on the front lines, our teachers. What are you hearing from teachers regarding their biggest concerns, worries, needs? What role can the State Board of Education play in addressing those issues?
I always go back to local control, but I do know the teachers are under a lot of stress. A lot of it is due to the fact that they haven't received the correct preparation at the college level. We cannot continue to retrain teachers once they're out in our state and they're licensed. We have to get the licensing requirements accomplished at the college level. And we have a lot of work to do there, not only in reading, but in other areas. And I think that that's the best thing we can go moving forward. Also, mission creep. We've got to take some of the responsibilities out of the school, put it back into the community and with the parents. Thank you.
Dr. Simpson.
Yes, I have been talking to teachers across the state, mostly through Zoom meetings. And the biggest message I have heard from them is they feel they're not being heard. They say to me that the State Board of Education seems to have its own agenda. I don't know if that's true or not, but this is what I hear from them. I hear from them about great challenges teaching under this COVID pandemic, all the newness of the virtual learning. I heard a teacher today say that he's taught for over 30 years, and this year he feels like he's a first-year teacher again. And this is mainly because everything is so new. They said that they needed preparation over the summer, but no preparation was given to them over the summer. There was no analysis of what worked or didn't work in the spring semester. So I just think they're really overworked and frustrated, and they would really like to have their voices heard at the state level.
Joyce,
anything to add to that?
Yes, our job on the State Board of Education is to not make laws. That's the legislature. We have to interpret them so that districts can abide by those laws. We do not do that. If teachers are blaming the board, they're putting the blame in the wrong area. And I do think they're overwhelmed. I think a lot of that is due to not understanding how education can be taught via technology. And I don't know how they could understand it unless they were trained in that way. And I think this COVID caught everyone off guard about teaching over the internet. And I think we have to work on that.
Well, my wife is a teacher, and I know I'm going to get home in here You didn't ask this, or this, but I know we've just, we've skimmed over the subjects, and I appreciate your time. We're going to move on to closing remarks, and we will go to Dr. Simpson, your 90-second closing remarks.
Okay, thank you. Well, first of all, I hope everybody will vote. That's the most important thing. I would like to represent CD3, 29 counties, on the State Board of Education. And the voters should know this is an unpaid post. This is a volunteer post. This is a labor of love. I am a retired person, so I am taking this on because I have the time to do it. I know it is a big job. I believe that I'll bring new skills and new perspectives to the state board. I have more than 30 years working in public health, global public health. I have worked in the control of infectious diseases, and I think I'm a good candidate during this COVID pandemic to bring those skills to the board. I will work by trying to build coalitions. I will be a great supporter of improving our funding for schools and improving our teachers' salaries. And I will try to find win-win solutions to the problems that are facing this. I will work with people at every level of the education system and with our legislature, and I look forward to taking the job. Thank you.
Thank you. Joyce, your closing remarks.
The vision of the State Board of Education is that all students in Colorado will become educated and productive citizens. The difference between me and my opponent is that my background is in education and technology. My opponent's background is in health, and her experience is not in the classroom. I've always said, and I continue to say, the most important role of a teacher is to prepare students to become successful readers. I am working on the READ Act. I am working to help re-educate the teachers in this respect. Also, be aware that there's different pathways for students to learn in the future. And my work here on the state board is not done. I would like to be elected again in November, and I'd like to serve the 3rd Congressional District. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your time and for your comments, and best of luck in the election.
Thank you.
Thank you.